Everyone, my name is Desiree, and today is actually my first video. It's my whole channel is going to be called Budget Crafts with Ray, and we're going to be doing a couple Halloween crafts and everything. I have my witch's hat on and one of my favorite shirts. It said it's all just a bunch of hocus pocus. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making some spell books and potion bottles and just some fun ways to learn how to set it up. So that's what we're going to be working on today. And if you like my video, please make sure that you subscribe and like below. And here we go. Okay, so we're going to be doing the Mod Podge. Now this is a different book than what we have already painted and everything, or going to be painting and stuff. I just wanted to show you the steps of making it look crinkly and giving it some antique flair with Mod Podge. 50-cent roll of paper towels from Walmart and a paintbrush. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually these right here are thin as is, but I would actually like them to be a little more thinner. So if you actually, for this book, actually, I take that back. A little thicker. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper towel. But if you would like it a little thinner, these paper towels, they do come apart. And let me show you. If I can get it here. It takes a little bit of patience. And we'll be ripping it also and everything. So if you would actually like to just rip it apart to find the half right here that you can actually just gently just pull the paper towel like so. And there you go. Very thin sheets. But for this one, we're actually going to do a little thicker sheet. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to, and by the way, you will need scissors. Unless you want to rip it, you can rip it. But as for me, I would like the scissors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go from the part of the book where it opens to the beginning of the spine. And I'm just going to simply cut. It doesn't have to be perfect measurements or anything like that. Okay, and then we're just going to take it, and you want it to leave some over that you can fold into the book, like so. And then you want to make sure that everything is kind of lined up, but it don't have to be perfect once again. Okay, and then what we're going to do with our paper towel and our Mod Podge and our paintbrush, what we're going to do is we're just going to dip it in there, get a good amount, and we're just going to start painting the paper towel onto the book. Okay, so we have it pretty much on the front part. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the book to this side, and what we're going to do is we're just going to get a little more of Mod Podge, and we're going to just bring it around and stick it to the inside of the book. Okay. Keep on dabbing Nope, can't see, my hand's in the way. And it does take a couple times to get the corners of it to stick down. We just need to get those parts a little extra moist. But when you use a thinner paper towel, it's not as bad on the corners and everything. But using a thicker layer and everything is going to need just a little bit more. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the lid from the Mod Podge and I'm sticking it in between the page of the book right here and just closing it so my pages don't stick together. Okay? And then I'm just going to continue to Mod Podge my paper towel. And what I'm doing is I'm brushing down to get those wrinkled effects. Because if you brush up, it takes them out. If you brush down, you'll get more wrinkles. Just depending on how many wrinkles you would like. Me, I would love a good bit of wrinkles. More wrinkle, more age. Okay. We're just going to make sure that it's sticking down here. And you might want to press in your brush into the crevices of the spine of the book. Just to make sure that that is all attached. Okay, and then we're going to take our other piece. See if we're going to get a new piece. I lied. Okay, we get a new piece of paper towel here. And we're wanting to make it about the same size that we did and everything. Just to make sure that we have everything kind of going the same direction. Okay. Alright. So we're just going to, and it's okay if it does overlap. That's fine. That is not a problem. Okay. We actually need to cut room for the spine and everything. So only thing I did was just cut out room for the spine. That way it does not overlap on the pages. Okay, so there we go. Another paper towel down. We're just going to take our Mod Podge and just keep on repeating this step until it is all covered. Okay, and now we're going to open the book once again to make sure that our paper towel is nice and laid down. Whoops, I'm making a mess. Y'all didn't see that. Okay, so we're just going to make sure that we have all of our corners down, and it's actually very easy just to fold these corners over and everything. And like I said before, it does take just a second for it to want to stick to the book, but you just have to be patient with it. Okay. Rip it if you do rip it a little bit like I just did, it's alright and stuff. It's not going to make any difference. It's on the inside of the book. Well, either on the outside of the book either, because then you can just cover it up with a little more piece of paper towel. Okay, so we have all that right there nice and done. Have our Mod Podge cap, and we're just going to shut the book with the cap inside. And you see that we drip down the side. That will happen. And luckily we're not quite done with the front. So all we're going to do is we're just going to go over that and just make sure that we spread it out quite a bit. Okay. And there you have it. Now this will dry, everything, probably about 10-15 minutes for it to dry. And then we'll be moving, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the book. You just repeat the back and the spine like we did the front. And then we'll be moving on to decorations after it gets done drying. Okay, here's one of my books that has just finished drying from the Mod Podge with paper towels. And I've seen some that have painted the front of it first, but I actually found this at the thrift store and everything for 25 cents. And what I've done is I did not paint it very much. I just went over the words, as you can see right here, the darker parts, because I liked the aging around it. So this is actually a really good find for what I'm trying to do. I did not cover up that part just yet because I plan on painting the spine, but I would like to have the texture of the Mod Podge and paper towels that I've added. And this side, I thought it looked really neat and everything with no paint. Okay, so that right there is what it would look like when it's all finished and drying from the Mod Podge, which I will be showing you the steps to that because I actually just thought of doing a video right after I did this. So let's get started. Okay, so these are the items that you'll need for the spell book. Right here we have some bats, some snakes, there's some rats and spiders down in there. The mice are in there somewhere. Oh, there's one. There's a little guy. Okay, right there. And over here I have some skulls just hanging up on the wall, which we will be using some of those. You'll need some Mod Podge. I did not get the gloss kind and everything, but this kind works very well for what we're doing. Glitter is optional. And then I have just some golden $1 antique looking, I thought it was, fingernail polish from Walmart. You're going to need metallic antique gold paint and jet black apple barrel acrylic paint. And you'll also need a variety of brushes. Some people do like to use the dabber brushes, which I will be using some dabber brushes for the coat of light paint that I'm going to be doing on the book. So we'll be starting this part right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with painting the book. I've actually decided to paint the back to make it all one color, because this is actually one that's going to be setting up somewhat like this, or the front and everything, but I would actually like this one right here because it's one of the smaller ones. And what I planned on doing is just doing one of the little critters and everything, and going down the spine, kind of like stretching it out a little bit and everything to make it look like that. And I'll be painting that with the metallic antique gold. But right now we're going to take a dabber brush, and we're going to make sure that we get the plenty detail in here, because it looks and feels like really old and ancient and stuff, and that's exactly the type of look that we're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. So I'm taking my acrylic paint in my little paint tray that I have. You can actually get these at the Dollar Tree for 6 packs and everything, just little trays. They are washable. I would not suggest putting them in the dishwasher because they will melt, but washing them by hand with WD-40 will get out all the paint, so you can start over fresh. Okay, so I have applied just a little bit of paint inside of my container here, and I'm actually going to grab one of my dabber brushes over here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with decorating, and it looks really antique with the Mod Podge that we've done. Very nice feel to it, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I have put some of the black paint in my tray, and we're just going to dab. Let's see if you see. There we go. Now you can see. All right, we're just going to dab a little bit there, and I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see too. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and just dab lightly and everything. And I actually forgot to mention, you will need a hot glue gun for this, and also a chocolate brown paint. I am so sorry that I forgot those 2 items. Okay, so you see what we're doing is we're just dabbing on the paint, And you can already see how the texture is coming up, and it looks so spooky and awesome. So we're going to continue to dab. And a little bit actually really does go a long way on this, because you don't want to cover up like the antique parts or whatever. You just want to make it look like darker, like somewhat like it's been burnt and everything is the look that I'm going for and stuff. You know, if you would like a little darker, by all means, this is just just a couple ideas to where you can make it your own, or you can follow my example. It's just, whatever you prefer. Grab a little more paint here. All right, I'm just going to start dabbing down more. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and dab on the rest of the paint here, and we'll be right back. And we're going to let it dry for probably about 10 minutes. So we got our book. I already went ahead and dabbed. This side is dry, but this side is not quite. So while we're waiting for it to finish up drying, we're going to go ahead and paint our snake. So again, I did get this for $1 at Walmart. It's like an antique goldish with sparkles in it. And we're just going to cover the snake and let that dry. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to do a piece of it, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I thought it was actually pretty neat myself. This color and like the mixed with the black snake and everything. If you have a colored snake, you can always spray paint that black and then do this step right here. But in this case, in this bag, it did have a black snake. Lucky me. So right now we're just so you can see, there we go. Back it up so you can see a little bit. Okay, so there we are. Just covering it with the nail polish. Looks very awesome. Okay, and we're just going to finish painting over. You might have to do a couple coats, because I see in some parts that it is some of the black is showing through. And if you want the black to show through, I mean, that's fine too. But as for me, I would like it to be all sparkly gold. Okay. Okay, so our snake is mostly painted and everything, and this is almost dry. So we're going to give the snake a few minutes to dry, and we'll be moving on to the next step. Okay, so our book is completely dry, and what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 steps this time. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of the brown, and we're just going to go through and we're going to just highlight certain areas and everything, because as you see and everything, like I left some lighter browns, and I just want to go through and just add some darker browns and everything, just to kind of make it look very ancient. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and once again, it'll be very light. So when you dab your brush in it, just make sure you take a paper towel or something and just dab it on there, because you want it to be very, very light. Like say this white spot right here, just gonna dab just a touch. So you can see, yep, right there, and everything, where you can still see some of the white, but we're just going through and just adding just some brown and everything, just to give it a little more age. Okay, and it'll be in very random spots and everything. I'm just kind of dabbing all over the place here. I don't know if it can... No, there we go. And everything, I'm just kind of dabbing here and there and everything. And when you get that part all done, that's what it's going to look like. A little bit more aged and burnt. Really spooky looking. Very awesome. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and do the spine and the back. So what I've been doing is, instead of doing like a front and then the back, what I've been doing is kind of like spreading it open like this in front of me, and I've been taking it kind of like that to where like I can just go ahead and get everything on at one time and then let it dry and stuff. And you'll have to actually let the brown dry just for a few minutes, but being it's very light, it's not going to take very long at all. And like I told you guys earlier, that I actually decided to go ahead and paint the back. So the whole back, if I can talk, the whole book would look very aged. Doesn't that look awesome, you guys? Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So we're going to continue just dabbing just a little bit more brown in these wider spots on the back to make it a little bit more agey looking, and some down the spine. Okay, but the spine, for the most part, you want the spine to be the darkest part and everything. So that's what I have here, where you can definitely see the spine where it's like dark. It's because our golden snake, when that gets done drying, is going to be put right down the middle. Okay, so that did dry fast. Nice, very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have our metallic paint that we talked about earlier, and I've actually never used this before, but I wanted this to give like a highlighted look in some of the creases and stuff, and like see where it kind of pops up and everything. That's kind of where I want it to do it in. So what we're going to do for this is we're just going to take a extremely fine point, an extremely thin fine point paintbrush like I have here, and we're just going to dab it into the gold and everything. You actually want to get a good bit on there, but not too much. And what we're going to do is in the creases, we're just going to go through and just highlight it, barely highlight it. Because in this type of project, it's like the little details that make it come to life. Okay, and we don't have to do every single crease and everything. I'm just kind of going through randomly and just hiding some of the bigger and smaller, well, actually all of the crinkles and everything, but I'm skipping some on my way down. Let's see. Okay, and we'll go ahead and dab some on the front. Once again, I am leaving the spine of the book completely black. I do not want to highlight that with any of the gold because I wanted the gold snake to really stand out on that. Okay, just a few more spots that I would like to highlight here. Okay, and then you're just going to take your dabble brush while it's still wet, with the some excess of the brown paint still on there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and kind of just mash it. We don't want to spread it, we just want to mash. Because if you see here, I have just done the back of the book, kind of mashed and everything. The front of the book, I have not. Okay, so when you mash it, and stuff. It kind of fades into it and looks like it's a part of it other than just kind of slapped on there. Okay. Alright. There we go. Making sure you guys can see that. There we are. Oh, it's a spot. So we're just going to dab that in just a little bit more to where it blends in. A few more places. Very nice. Okay. And there you are. The spooky book. Alright, so we're just going to let this dry for a minute. Let's go check on our little guy over here. Okay, and that is dry. Very sparkly. And what we're actually going to do when this finishes up drying and everything, we're going to take our hot glue gun. I think I mentioned that we did need one. I think I forgot that in the beginning. But what we're going to do is we're just kind of going to stretch it out on the barcode of the book when we get ready to. And everything. I've actually just seen a couple. Whoop, I didn't mean to get the black, but I actually just seen a couple black spots that were waiting and everything, so I'm going to go ahead and cover those up. I mean, if you like the black showing through with the snake, I mean, that's on you. But as for me, I would like it to be gold. Okay, we're going to let these dry and start with the hot glue gun while it heats up. So now that our book is done drying and our snake and our hot glue gun is ready, so what we're going to do is we're just going to close the book like this. And actually, I got this one with the really old looking pages. I thought that was really neat. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we are simply just going to stretch out the snake like that, up and down the spine. And then we're actually going to do one piece at a time. So we're going to put a nice amount of hot glue on the first end of our snake to make sure that it sticks very nicely. Okay. So we're going to hold that there for a minute and let it dry. Don't you love the little spider web things whenever you're trying to do something? Of glue. So lovely. Ooh, there's more. There we go. No, it's stuck to my hand now. Okay. Alright, so when that one is feeling almost dry and everything, then we're just going to stretch out the snake to the next part. Here, because you see that it's nice and attached and not going anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stretch it out where we want it, and we're going to glue this part right here. Okay, you might want to add some just to the other side, just in case. And don't worry about the glue showing and everything, because we're going to be fixing that. And I'll show you how. Oh, love the spider webs. Okay. And then we're just going to stretch the snake down more, make sure that it's laying flat to the book. And then we're going to take it right here in the curved part. Attach that nice amount of glue. Press and hold. Okay. Now we're going to take the last part of the snake, and it does look a little messy right now, but I'm going to show you how to fix that, because we just want to make sure that it's secure. Then we're going to take the tail of it and secure this part right here. Okay, and then our last little bit, if you like the tail sticking up, that's fine, but me, I would like it secured. So I'm going to add a little more glue for the end here. Stick it down. Okay. And there's what it looks like. Yes, it is a little bit messy. And we're going to be tearing off the spider webbies from the glue gun and everything, and then we're just going to take the smaller paintbrush that we used for the gold, and we're going to be dabbing it in the black that we still have left over, and we are just going to go by the snake here, and we're going to be covering that glue part with the black. Actually, let me change my brush here. This one's not really working for me. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. There you go. That one ought to do it. Changed it to just a little more bigger size and everything. So we're just going to go up and down where the glue parts are, and we're just going to make that blend in and everything. Be sure not to cover up the tongue of the snake, so you have to be very careful with that. Okay. Just make sure that it's all covered. And this is also like one of the reasons why I did want to leave the spine a little darker, is because of the hot glue gun and everything, and it kind of gives that snake melted to the book look, which I think is pretty cool. So we're just going to continue to cover up the glue to the snake. Which also helps get rid of some of this little spider webbies. Okay. Alright, and if some of your gold polish came off of your snake and everything like mine did, I don't know if you can really see those little spots there where the hot glue gun has heated it up. That's also a really easy fix. Only thing that we're going to do is just take our nail polish and we're just going to cover up our dots. Like so. And actually I just thought of something. So when we're actually done covering up our little black spots on the snake, we're actually going to spray some polyurethane on it to make the glitter stay and everything. And also what I'm also doing is the glue that looks like it's like could be a part of the snake, I'm just going over that with the black and just making the snake look a little bigger, which also helps blending in the snake. Do 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 do. Okay, just a little more. Okay, and there we are. Nice and spooky looking. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit for a second. And while we're going to let it sit, I just have some Karma varnish and everything. It's just a adhesive, not adhesive, sorry. It makes it look like the non-yellowing, and it helps the glitter not go anywhere. So you don't have glitter all over your hands every time you touch it, whenever you put it up or anything. So we're just going to spray the snake. Okay. And there we are. The snake part is all done. Very nice and shiny and everything. And if you would like to add it to the front, go right ahead. But I would actually like it still looking kind of old and creepy. Okay. So there's the one that we'll be setting up like so with some other potion bottles. And I actually have a very nice selection of bottles that will be get into another video for some just weird shape bottles, and the prices on those were actually like 10 cents a piece at a thrift store. So we'll be getting into those and the thrift store that I go to get all of my products. Okay, so here is the finished book, which will be going this way along with other books. And I will actually be doing oh my gosh, potion bottles in the next video and everything, because I'm a one supply short from doing them. So we're going to have to do this in another video, and just wanted to show you the finished book of how to make the book look a little older. And also we're going to be going into a different type of spell book and also a different video, but this is just like one of the first ones and everything, be stand up on a mantle or with everything together. And I cannot wait to show you guys when I have everything together. It's going to look amazing. So thank you for watching, and if you like my video, please like and subscribe below once again, and thank you so much.